Oh my goodness, the Top Shot Hot Boys are back! We went with the long intro because it's been too long since we talked a little Top Shot. I am Showcase Skeets, and joining me here on camera, there he is. It's my Top Shot, Trey Kirby. What's up, big man?
We got to find a way to have the music play throughout the entire episode because it's so good.
So, quick story. Let me peel back the curtain. It's been a while since we've done the Top Shot Hot Boys, and I had to hit up JD the other night. I was like, JD, we need a new, intro screen because I got a new graphic for this. He's like, okay. I was like, do you know where the song is? Because it's a banger. It has to be that song. And he's like, I don't know what it is. What's it called? I was like, how do I know? I have no idea what it's called. But he found it, and he said, for future reference, that song is called Chopsticks.
Wow.
which I wasn't ready for.
Different than the chopsticks I'm familiar with that you play on a piano. But that one's better. New chopsticks, fire. Old chopsticks, tired.
So much better. Hello to everybody joining us live here on YouTube. Great to see the stream team coming back for some Top Shot. We have something very special here at TK. We're going to be giving a lot of people, as far as I know, the first look at 16 new moments that are coming this week on the Top Shot platform. And they're 16 Hall of Famers, which we'll explain in detail and show you every moment. But they had to get ironically, the hot boys, who are really just hot old men, and that's even arguable, to talk about even older men. Because we got some legends here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We ran into some of our friends from Top Shot over Summer League. They said, we've got the perfect program for you coming a little bit later in the year, only to find out it was people from the 1970s. So I feel like the gray hair is paying off. We both got beards. Yeah. And, I talk about the Grateful Dead all the time, and they were going in the 1970s as well. So this is perfect for us. Going to be awesome to see these moments.
Yeah, so let's waste no more time. And actually, to help us go through them, I'm going to bring him up on stage now. It's Sam Williams, who is a campaign and storytelling strategist there at NBA Top Shot. Sam, what's up, man?
Oh, just ready to get these out. I've been looking forward to this drop all summer. I've been working on this drop all summer. And so, yeah, definitely excited to get these out. This is in fact world premieres, by the way.
Okay. Oh,
Cool.
world premiere. Did they make you sort of lead this, very iconic 70s and, even older set because you sound like an old person, Sam, because you have such a great voice?
Yeah, that's what they said. They said, don't do anything else. But once it comes back to like Nate Thurmond, we need you to curate that.
Oh, yes. I love how many Bobs we have in this drop, too. If you are a fan of Bobs, this is going to be the drop for you. But here's what's going on. Heroes of the Game and Run It Back 1970s. These are the moments that are going to be coming later this week. I'll explain at the end when they're dropping, how you can get them, what the cost is going to be, and all that good stuff. But before we show the first moment, Sam, and we are going to start with the best of the best when it comes to these. How did this come about? In all honesty, you said it took a while, but how did you guys come up with this idea to sort of immortalize some of these legends?
Yeah, so we wanted to do something a little different than we did last year. Last year was more like summer long. We did 3 sets. We did a rookie rare set, we did a veteran rare set, and then we did a legendary veteran set, sort of the best of the best. But it went all summer long. They weren't necessarily thematic plays. And so we didn't really want to just, pun intended, run that back. So we wanted to do a bunch of smaller sets that maybe were less intimidating to start collecting. Is it going to be 25, 35 moments throughout a whole summer? So we wanted to do this is just drop centric. For instance, the 1970s drop. This is all the 1970s moments. There weren't any before. There's not coming any after. This is summer's version of the 70s, at least. Still a lot of 70s legends out there. So it took some whittling down, but so we wanted to go with more of a thematic set. So let's see, last month we did Legacy Threads, which was Icon's first games in a particular, what the franchise they sort of became known for. Phantom Threads, so your Raptors got their long-awaited Hakeem Olajuwon moment.
Yes.
And so just a little bit quirkier, a little bit more fun. And so we knew that we wanted to get the 1970s on Top Shot. We weren't really sure. I wasn't really sure what the lift was going to be. Like, how different is the process for 1975 than like 1985, 95, 05? Turns out pretty different. So I wasn't quite sure like what the hurdles will be. I knew there would be a few, but it's been a labor of love. And as somebody who grew up watching all the DVDs of like the greatest NBA finals of all time, that was like what my family would get me every single year for Christmas. So I don't know why. I was definitely like a really weird kid for knowing as much as I did about like the 73 NBA finals in 4th grade. But that's what it was. That's my life. So I felt like uniquely qualified to try and tell the story of the 70s. So Heroes of the Game is sort of, these are like we said at the top, they're all Hall of Famers. Heroes of the Game are those, the second you say their name, like it can't be in a tier below. Like we have to give the utmost treatment to these players, these plays, these seasons, and try to celebrate them as much as possible. And again, as a sicko, like there's a lot of these 70s rare guys that I was thinking, this dude is totally a hero of the game. But I feel pretty confident in like where we landed with, these are the rare guys, these are the ultimate tier guys. And the Heroes of the Game is an ongoing set. So there's 3 of them in this drop. There'll be a couple more in the following drop. And we might just keep, seeing how many of these guys we can get.
For sure. Okay, so let's start with that Heroes of the Game set. The ultimate tier moments. These are going to be minted to just 10 with an exclusive mint to 1 diamond edition variant. So like there's very few of these. These are the best of the best players, as Sam said. And this collection could, in theory, grow with future releases of, legendary names and basketball greats. So TK, you ready for the first one here? You've seen the thumbnail, so I gave it away a little bit, but let's show the people.
Yeah, the Heroes of the Game in this pack are straight up Heroes of the Game. 3 of the greatest players we've ever seen, and a few of the most iconic moments in NBA history are included here as well. So let's see what we got from Wilt.
So our first one, Wilt Chamberlain. Here we go. Which is pretty slick that there's a Wilt Chamberlain moment on Top Shot. It's pretty cool.
1972 NBA Finals series clincher. First NBA title in LA since it came to LA. This is the first LA Lakers title.
Yeah, that's actually mind-boggling that it ended like an 18-year drought. Like back when they were the Minneapolis Lakers, winning them. But this was the first one there in LA. So there it is. There's Wilt. Again, minted to 10, the diamond edition variant to 1.
Decent game for Wilt here. 24 points, 29 boards, 8 assists, and 8 blocks in the clincher while wearing a headband that's somehow thicker in the front, smaller in the back, and football pads on his hands. How do you play basketball with football hands? Doesn't even make sense to me, but I guess when you're just slamming at home, that helps.
Yeah, this was an interesting one too, because it's like, how do you pick the first Wilt Chamberlain moment on Top Shot? Obviously like there's no footage of the 100-point game. And there's some like potentially like glaring omissions when you're looking at these plays. Like you think, Wilt, you want the 100-point, but we don't have it. There's another player, like the first quadruple double in NBA history, 73 points. Some of these things don't exist. Or they exist in these weird corners of like, somebody's grandfather's Super 8.
Right.
That we can't make into moments yet. So if your grandfather has Super 8 footage of any of these pre-mentioned moments, hit us up.
I have a bunch of like probably quite embarrassing footage on VHS tapes of me playing basketball, dunking on like a 7-foot rim. If it was even 7 foot tall, I'm not sure. Can we make those potentially moments in the future?
100%. If you send it to me, yeah.
Okay, great.
Ultimate,
good to know.
Diamond Edition Skeets.
yes, that's right. All right, so
Skeets, how much would you pay to have the Diamond Edition Skeets so that nobody else could get their hands on it? I'm gonna put it in the archive. Don't let anybody see it.
Yeah, quite a bit. quite a bit, but it would be cool if other people could have a rare Skeets, I guess, and be dunking on a 6 foot, 7 foot net.
For the
Okay,
people.
so Wilt Chamberlain, I mean, what a start. But we have two others here in the ultimate tier. So we'll keep it going as I continue to share my screen with all of you. Got to make sure I do this in the right order, which I'm probably already messed up. Yes, here we go. Willis Reed, everybody. Let's see what we got from Willis Reed here. I have a feeling what the game is. I hope it is Game 7. Yeah, there it is.
So cool.
Coming out the tunnel. Oh my goodness. This has got to be... Go ahead, Sam.
I've had like weird looking goosebumps like 3 times a day for the past 10 days watching this moment. Like that tunnel shot is the shot.
Yeah, like Wilt Chamberlain, definitely, I think people would rank him ahead of Willis Reed on the all-time NBA scale, but this is an iconic piece of NBA history, and you're basically getting the entirety of it from the walkout, his couple of buckets. You're even seeing him limping around with a torn thigh. This, to me, is like the moment of the pack.
Yeah, this has to be... Like, this is the most popular 4.3 rebound game in NBA history, right?
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
It doesn't even come close when you consider, like, that's all he did, but it was sort of everything, hitting those timely shots, getting the 19,000 plus in Madison Square Garden, going nuts. They win. They get the title. He gets finals MVP. I think completing the trifecta of regular season MVP, all-star game MVP, and then finals MVP.
This is my favorite moment on the platform today. And it has been for like a couple weeks. The second I got this in, because you don't know exactly what footage is going to be available. Like I was mentioning, like I was hoping we would have at least the shots, you know, and because we've all seen the tunnel shot, but we don't know where that tunnel shot really came from. Is it owned by the NBA, et cetera? And yeah, to me, the idea that opening shot, it's grainy, it's blurry, it's old, it's dark, but if you play that still, if you show that still to anybody worth their weight in basketball fandom, it's like, yeah, it's Willis Reed. That's Game 7 of the 1970 NBA Finals. You know, he was hurt and he came out and the crowd went nuts and they won. It's like you can fill in so many blanks by just a random tunnel shot. I don't know what really compares on the platform right now.
Yeah, that's true. I do, like you were saying, some of these players we're going to get to, you might be like, oh, I wish we had that game or that moment, because that's the first thing you think of. You got to hear with Willis Reed. Like if this was anything else, people would be like, okay, cool, but it's not the Willis Reed game. So that had to feel good for obviously to lock that one up. Really anything to add, TK, there on that Knicks legend?
No, it's perfect. If you're a Knicks fan, this is like the first thing you think of when you're thinking of the Knicks, especially in the 1970s. And Willis Reed is kind of a forgotten dude. Like you're saying, Sam, an MVP in all forms of the word. This is the most iconic thing he's ever done. Very cool that this is the moment.
Also didn't put together until right now, like first LA Lakers championship and first New York Knicks championship.
Ooh, there you go.
Both clinchers.
Those clinchers got it done. All right, our third ultimate tier moment is Hall of Famer Pistol Pete Maravich. Oh,
I love it.
Behind the back fake.
That Rondo before Rondo.
Yeah, exactly. That's slick.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that are in these couple of packs, heroes of the game and the run it back from the 70s, that you wish you had actually seen them play during their careers. And Pistol Pete is higher on the list for me than just about anybody. You can't believe the things he's doing playing in the 1970s. I even can't believe that the uniforms he's wearing for the Hawks are real. Like they bring him back every 15 years, it feels like, as a retro. And you're like, there's no way somebody was wearing lime green and blue back then. But guess what? It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one for me, this is it's obviously one of the shorter ones. And so there's this decision-making process. Like, could we have found a different game that had more angles and maybe some intro and outro footage? Or do we get the play that's on every single Pete Maravich highlight reel? And I opted for that. I opted for, I mean, he's juking the logo in this moment.
Yeah.
And so my dad's favorite player. My dad was at Alabama when Maravich was at LSU, and the way he talks about the show that would come to town, like it's his Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 1968. And he's like, it was like the Beatles were in town.
Yeah.
The entire place would pack in to watch him drop 60 without a 3-point line.
Yeah, what did he average? Like 44 points
44.
per game? It's like
No line.
nuts. Yeah, 3-point line. It's crazy.
And mostly jump shots. And I'm with you, Sam. I think a lot of Dad's favorite players is Pistol Pete Maravich. They made a movie about Pistol Pete when he was in 8th grade. Like, we're going to tell the story of what he was doing when he was in 8th grade. And everyone's like, yeah, I would love to see that fictionalized. That's how much of like a mythic hero he was. We had to see what he was doing when he was 13 years old.
Yeah, I have you ever read the book, Sam? I think his autobiography, The Pistol Pete.
Don't tell my dad, but no, I have not.
Oh, it's so good. It is. I mean, he has an insane story. Like his dad was
with press and
Press
everything.
Maravich, was like, I mean, he molded Pistol Pete into Pistol Pete, but
he's a folk legend. Like you hear these stories about like, how'd you learn to dribble? It's like, I learned to dribble by dribbling outside the window of a car as it drove.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound, it's like, you know, he's the blue ox.
Yeah, it's right. All right, so those are the 3 ultimate tier moments from the Heroes of the Game set, which again, in the future, heroes can be added, but they're minted to just 10, and then the exclusive to 1 diamond edition that's going to be out there. That's 3 lucky people are going to hit here of these 3 guys, of Wilt, Willis Reed, and Pistol Pete. That of those 3, Trey, I mean, the chances are slim, obviously, because there's only 3 of the diamond. Which one would you most want? Would it be Pistol Pete or one of the other big men?
Player wise, it would be Pistol Pete. I think it's also like just looking at the movies, pulling quite a slick highlight and really emblematic of what he's doing. But when you're talking about like the most famous moments in NBA history, Willis Reed Game 7 coming out of the tunnel is pretty much unbeatable. It's like a top 10 easily. So despite my aversion to the Knicks, I think that's got to be the choice.
Okay, what you're saying is you're not going to burn any of these 3 moments if you were to get them.
No way.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right, so that's the Heroes of the Game set. Now we pivot to the Run It Back 1970s set, which celebrates obviously the 70s, the golden decade when hoops, I guess, transformed from like sport to really spectacle. We have 13 more Hall of Famers, and they're going to be immortalized in rare tier moments. So the rare tier minted to $2.99. And I love the artwork on these. I thought the Heroes of the Game look cool, but these ones are really cool because they got like this, Sam, I don't know what you call it, almost like a throwback basketball card design to them.
What's funny is the tops, I think it's like top 72 or top 73. Pistol Pete is actually like the one that I think of immediately when I see this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the creative team absolutely cooked with these, where it just made it super iconic. Where if you're ripping for these ultimates, it's still really, really fun to pull one of these.
All right, so let's start with the one moment that will be a challenge reward from this 1970s Run It Back set, and that is Walt Frazier. So here's Walt. Clyde. Oh, yeah, that artwork is sick.
That looks so good.
Yeah. A little pump fake party.
Fundamentals.
Absolutely, and this is this is the Knicks' second championship. Then, if I
Knicks fans, come on in. We've got basically all of your championships right here.
Yeah,
I didn't say it.
Jacob had a say in this. Is that right?
Yeah, there was a couple other Knicks that he asked for. I was like, next time, buddy.
You're going to have to wait on Xavier Daniel, but we can get Walt Frazier in right away. One of the coolest guys ever, kind of the original Gary Payton, like great scorer, great distributor as a guard, but also a lockdown defensive guy. I've got a book written by Clyde Frazier. It's called Rockin' Steady, A Guide to Basketball and Cool. And it's like a third of him talking about basketball and then 2/3 of him talking about like how to be cool. And you're like, okay, if I'm taking advice from anybody, Clyde Frazier's the guy.
Yeah. Like I can't be as good at him on the court. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So like the basketball advice is kind of pointless. but like I have access to the same awesome jackets and hats.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
We definitely need at some point this coming season to show Clyde Frazier this moment and just see what his brain does in showing him this. We got to have Mike Breen explain it to him. That would be amazing. All right, so Clyde Frazier, yeah, I think when you think of cool, you think of him or Dr. J. That's like the first two guys I think of. And so here we have another Knicks moment. This is the rare tier again. That's the challenge reward. So that'll be the tough one for you people out there, the collectors out there on Top Shot, to accumulate the other guys and go get. But pretty cool moment there. And he's the first modern athlete, I think, to have his own signature shoe. I'm pretty sure, which is, I mean, I guess that is pretty cool.
Yeah, like after Chuck Taylor, basically, and then another 30 years later, they came out with the Puma Clyde, a shoe that still looks really awesome and that they still re-release every now and then. Skeets, you think if Walt Frazier watches this moment, he would say he's pumping and jumping?
Yeah, for sure. Pumping and jumping, but not dumping is what he would say. He's not dumping his moment. Okay, let's move to our anything else to add? Sorry, Sam, before I move on.
No, I think that one doesn't.
You think he would say pumping and jumping, but not dumping? Okay, I think so too. All right,
the neophyte, Walt Frazier.
Yeah, the precocious neophyte.
So our next moment here in the rare set is Wes Unseld, and I'm hoping it's going to be of an assist variation or play type, and let's find out together here. Here's Wes Unseld in the Run It Back 70 set. Afro. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Look at that.
Leading the fast break. Go finish that. I don't even know who that guy was.
Perfect place for the outlet pass. I love this one because the description mentions outlet passing, setting screens, rebounding, and defense. And I just thought that was awesome that they're like, look, there's other things that happen in basketball besides dunks and scoring. You got to do the dirty work. Wes Unseld, one of the rare guys who was Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season, the 68-69 season. That's incredible.
That's actually one of those moments. There's a couple players in this drop that had the moment I really wanted. If I could just pick, if it wasn't limited to the 70s, I think it was like 68 for Wes Unseld. And there's another player who my favorite play is like literally January of 1980. So I was like, I want to sneak it, but I'm not going to sneak it. But yeah, when it came time for Wes Unseld, I remember talking with the league and sort of saying like, all right, do we have this game? This is the one I want. And like, we don't have that game in the archives. And it got down to where I was like, I just need an outlet pass. Like, you know what I mean? Like this guy was not one of those guys who's going to say like, he's averaging 36 points or 24 rebounds. Like none of his stat lines are going to be that eye popping. So I just need the longest, cleanest outlet that we can possibly find. And they delivered.
Yeah. How many did they have options for you? Were they like, yeah, here's 10 Wes Unseld fast break passes, or is
like
it like
typically
2?
the way it'll start where it's like I will send like a specific play. So I'll say like April 27th, 1973. This was the fun part. It's like basketball archaeology is my job in the summer. In the regular season, with contemporary moments, it's really easy. It's like, I see the time and score. The score bug is on the screen all the time.
Oh, right.
Way different.
When it comes to going back to the 70s, there's almost never a score bug. And so we have to make sure that like everyone who's on the screen is a player that we're able to put in product. And that takes saying, okay, who wore number 12 for the Milwaukee Bucks? Some point between 72 and 75. So you've got that. And then you say, okay, I see 43 over here. When did those two guys line up? And you just go until you can find the actual game date. And sometimes I'd have to say like, look, it's either February 12th or March 17th. I feel pretty proud of myself for even getting here. Sometimes it's just like there's another player in this drop where all of his favorite plays, because back in the 70s, they're playing each other 6 to 8 times a year because it's a smaller league. It's still 82 games. So whereas now it's like, well, the Heat are in Sacramento. They're only in Sacramento once a year.
Yeah, it helps you whittle it down. Yeah.
that's no help to me. So that was a really fun part of this, but yeah. So for Wes, it was like, just get me an outlet pass. Hopefully we can get the plays that I'm actually, like when you say the player's name, you associate it with either a play itself, or a tier below that is like a certain game, certain season where they won an MVP or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then sometimes it would just get down to the Wes Unseld. Just give me the long, clean pass.
Yeah. Incredible. All right.
Outlet passing is definitely the number one thing you think of with him. I had a high school basketball coach who said they had drills that he used to throw it off the glass to himself, turn, spin, and be able to throw an outlet pass off the other backboard. I can't believe the strength that you would need for that. But then you look at Wes Unseld, and you're like, okay, he could absolutely do it. My second favorite thing is that Kevin Love's middle name is Wesley, because his dad played with Wes Unseld, and then Kevin Love himself grew up to be an incredible outlet passer.
Yeah.
It was destiny.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. His dad, Stan Love, is that his dad's name?
That's right.
Yeah. Wes Unseld. Yeah. That is crazy. Passed it down. Skill. I guess Kevin Love's still in the league, so maybe he's the answer to this. Who else comes to mind at the best in today's game at throwing the fast break pass?
Jokic gets the ball out. Lonzo Ball was a big outlet passer, known as a big outlet passer when he was coming into the NBA. But I think Love is still the guy you would probably tab as number one outlet passer post Wes.
LeBron has a number of like fast break passes, like those bombs as well too, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep it going. We got a bunch of Hall of Famers left here. Next up on the list, we got Calvin Murphy. All 5'9" of Calvin Murphy here in this Run It Back 70s moment.
Pocket Rocket Tom.
Oh yeah, great stash.
So many, the stash, the sideburns, the short shorts.
Yeah,
so many cool looks. Hey, this could be a modern highlight, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that type of little dish off there, wrapping it around the defense. Yeah, for sure. So Calvin Murphy for the Rockets, the smallest guy enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Somebody could fact check me on that. Muggsy's not there. Spud's not there.
That's the guy.
It's not many guys left. Zeke was taller, so yeah. Iverson was taller. 5'9" is small, Sam, but we got an assist here.
Very rarely can I say I'm taller than a Hall of Famer. But today, yeah, for you, Trey, I'm sure you're taller than a lot of Hall of Famers. This is the only one for me. This is my guy.
Yeah, that would be, well, same for me then, Sam. I'm right there as well. I mean, I'm 5'11" on a good day, probably 5'10" and a half most days. So yeah, not a lot of short guys as short as Calvin Murphy, and none are in the Hall of Fame.
I think he's even the shortest All-Star in NBA history until second Isaiah Thomas came along at 5'9" and also made All-Star games. So yeah, this is also an NBA era where it seemed like there was gigantic centers for every single team, not nearly as much space. So pretty impressive that the guy was like a 30-point per game scorer at 5'9".
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you were saying you slipped it in there. I heard you, Sam, say when you're saying sideburns and the fros and the short shorts. I was like watching some of these, getting ready for this, and my wife Nora looked over at my screen. She's like, "Oh yeah, we got to bring the short shorts back." So we had a fan, at least in my wife, of the short era.
Some of the music paired with the fros and the short shorts is like, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite sets in a long time.
How did you have a play in the music as well? You're like a rock artist, are you not? You're in a band, aren't you?
I am in a band, yeah. So I do feel also not a funk band. So as much as I would love to be in a funk band, curating personal moments for personal soundtracks for the 1970s, I did have a lot of fun picking the tracks for this one. It was kind of last minute. It was like I was sending all the plays, and I was like, we cannot put just like trap music, the typical like hi-hat Top Shot music. Like this has got to be funky.
Got to be a little funky. All right. Next up on our list, we are going to go to Connie Hawkins, who a Suns legend. We start to get into some of these players, like all these guys we've watched already. Obviously, we're sickos. We know. And I know Connie Hawkins, but it starts to become a part where you're like, oh, do I really know Connie Hawkins and what he did? No, like there's some blind spots. for all of us. So let me share the screen here and get Connie Hawkins' Top Shot debut moment. What about you, Trey? How familiar are you with Connie Hawkins?
Connie Hawkins, I would say, more familiar with the story of his basketball career, even compared to what he did on the court, because the dude was like an NYC playground legend. Used to play against Wilt Chamberlain at Rucker Park. Can you imagine going and see two NBA Hall of Famers just playing street ball against each other? No cameras. Crazy to think of. But then got embroiled in a scandal of which he shouldn't have even been implicated in. Got blackballed by the NBA. Took forever to actually make it to the NBA. So instead, he was a Harlem Globetrotter. Won an MVP in the ABA and then came to the NBA finally after winning some legal battles, where he then went on to have his jersey retired by the Suns. They say he's like the first Dr. J, the first Michael Jordan, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, you can sort of see, I guess my point was all these other guys I've seen a lot of footage for, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen a lot of Connie Hawkins sort of highlights. And this was a reel here, Sam, too.
Yeah. This is personally like my favorite player in this drop. I just think he's like between the story, his game, his handles. I mean, the dude has got to have the biggest hands in the history of the league. We think about the Jordan ball fakes, palming ball fakes. We've seen Kawhi do it. Yeah. Nobody did it like Connie. Connie is giving you the pump fake ball fakes with, palming the ball. He's going between his legs without dribbling. Like, he is absolute. He brings some of the Harlem. You can tell he played for the Globetrotters for like 5 years. Some of the finger rolls. Like, this was the player I was most keen on including in this because, yeah, it does feel like, the top tier guys. And then sort of as you start to go down the list, like maybe the casual Top Shot pack ripper is not terribly familiar with the Connie Hawkins of the world. And so it feels like, look, if we're going to tell the story of not just every NBA season currently, but like go backwards into history and like sort of, show the record books and tell the story of the history of the sport. Connie Hawkins is a guy you got to have in there.
Yeah, you made the comp there, at least with palming the ball to Kawhi. He even has sort of like the build of him a little bit there with the huge shoulders and he's ripped. And obviously,
maybe it's the tight jerseys or the short shorts, but it's like they look huge. The shoulders and the freaking cannons that these dudes have.
Well, I mean, there was a lot more physical, obviously, back then. You're going to have to be, like, in theory, like, stronger, at least physically stronger to play in that league at that point when they would just sort of let things go. But, yeah, good game from this one. I like that we got a couple highlights there, TK. I think that one happened on Christmas, that moment, too, which is sort of cool. So no Christmas jerseys back in the 70s.
No, but the Suns jerseys back then are also pretty sweet with, like, the sunburst on the legs. I think they look great.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going here. Our next moment, Moses Malone. This is a fantastic one of my favorite players. And here it is, his Top Shot debut. And in theory, from him, maybe his only moment we're ever going to see from Moses Malone here in the Top Shot world. This is, super athletic freak Moses Malone.
Very high on my list of guys that I wish had seen him play when he was at his peak. Won 3 MVPs in 5 seasons. So, I mean, he had a claim as being the best player in the world for a while and just like unstoppable on the glass. He's on the Mount Rushmore of rebounders for sure. Like, I think everybody who plays basketball, if you miss a layup, grab your own board and put it back in. That's a Moses Malone. So, yeah, I love seeing this moment.
Yeah, and what I really like about this is, like, when I picture Moses, it's him older, right? Near the end of his career. Obviously, he wins the championship with the Sixers and still contributing and all that. But, like, I picture sort of a fatter Moses Malone and sort of like an older looking Moses. And, like, to what TK said, Sam, like, oh, no, this guy was the MVP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is his first MVP season. And, first player to win MVPs back-to-back years with different teams. This does feel like sort of like the first great Houston Rockets era. Obviously, like, this is only a couple years after they moved to Houston from San Diego. They ditched the green and the yellow, which honestly is a pretty sick jersey. I'm glad that the Rockets are bringing that back. But I like this is pre-Clutch City, obviously, but like that red and gold Houston Rockets jersey will always be just like one of my favorites. And he's rocking the chain. It's just cool.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of great Moses Malone off-court pictures, and the chain is pretty prominent in all of them.
Also, one of the few players in this drop, in this era, really, that played forever. Played, I think, 21 seasons. There was so many of these guys as I'm going back and I'm sort of seeing when they were drafted and, filling in all the details that I'm like, they only played 7 years. There's a guy in this drop who played 7 years in the Hall of Fame, 9, 11 years in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And that doesn't happen anymore. You can't put together that kind of resume in 10 seasons, 7 seasons.
Yeah. Well, like their shoes were basically made of cardboard.
How did they do it?
They're busing and traveling not like normal people do, all packed in the seats and stuff. I mean, it probably had a lot more wear and tear on your body. Just wasn't there, obviously, the sports medicine to keep these guys playing longer. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Couldn't spend $1 million on your body like LeBron does every year. All right. So Moses Malone, that's one I'm definitely hoping for to get. All right. We have another Bob here, though, for our next moment. Let me get my Bobs right. Oh, yeah. That was our first Bob. Excuse me. This is Bob Lanier. We'll start with Bob Lanier for the Pistons. What are we getting from this Bob?
This Bob is a guy who I'm like, I have to apologize. I'm not familiar with your game, right? Because I think he's kind of forgotten as a number 1 overall draft pick. The first thing that comes to mind for me for like history with Bob Lanier is he had like the biggest feat in NBA history until Shaq came around. And then number 2, he got name checked by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane. So other than that, it's like, obviously this guy was good, but I don't think he's quite as well known as some of the other centers from his era. So I think it's really cool that he's getting the tab for Top Shot.
Yeah, he's definitely, we talk about a lot of like the build of some of these guys. This dude's build is just, he's enormous. Like he's built like something that I'm not sure if I can say on your show.
You absolutely can.
The dude is built like a brick shit house. He is just like, you are not getting through this dude. And the idea that he's just like, when he ball fakes you and you're just like, I just go ahead, just come on. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I don't think I knew he was a lefty. That's for sure. I did not know that. I love that he has the knee pads on in the moment. Too. It's like, oh God, this guy, he's going to be a problem when he's built like that and he's got knee pads. You're like, you're going to be in for a long night with Bob Lanier there. And he's one of these guys, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, that didn't play like super long.
Yeah.
Right?
One of those guys,
10, 11 years, something like that. 8-time All-Star, but
knees.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hence the knee pads.
You see how that would be a problem. Yeah. There's a whole paragraph on Bob Lanier's Wikipedia page about him getting in fights during his NBA time. He was like a huge enforcer. Doesn't seem like a guy you would want to mess with. Had his own malice at the Palace moment. Didn't even get ejected. Didn't get a technical. No. 2 other guys got personal fouls. It's pretty crazy to see. So, Bob Lanier, bit of a legend.
All right. That's the first of 3 Bobs here. We'll keep it going. Our next one is Bob McAdoo. I keep pressing the wrong button to share. Here we go. Bob McAdoo up next with the Braves. Let me play that.
What's a 50 burger? This is a 50 point 21 rebounds, I think.
This is a 50 burger. Okay. The Buffalo Braves.
Yeah, I'd like to see a defunct team get a Top Shot moment as well. I think that's pretty cool.
I like that color of that court. Like that blue. I mean, it sort of pops.
So good.
Look at those sideburns.
Great sideburns.
This is the one. This is the sideburns in short shorts.
Yeah. Those are
first Buffalo Braves moment.
Okay. Yeah. That's something there. And you said it, 50 points, 21 rebounds in a playoff game. So not just some regular season game. This was the stakes were high here.
Yeah, Bob McAdoo, another one of those those guys that doesn't really get the love that he deserves. I mean, this guy was one of the best scorers in the league for the entire decade. Not a ton of dudes in the 70s put together more buckets than Bob McAdoo. And it's funny to think about like some of the names that escaped the 70s and sort of came out with that allure, with that sort of upper echelon tier. And then you've got these other guys like later in the list, we've got Elvin Hayes. It's like 27,000 points.
Yeah.
Like some of the best scorers of all time. And I don't know, they just didn't have the whole PR package. To leave their career behind as like, I'm one of the all-time greats that They're gonna make Top Shot moments to me, but you know,
Yeah.
here we are.
Imagine they said
If
that
only
back
they
in
would
the
have known.
70s. Like, what? What is that?
Back to the Future 4. I can't wait for that one.
Elvin Hayes watching his Top Shot debut.
Yeah. Look, Trey and I do a lot of NBA trivia on No Dunks, obviously with tasks. Like we do it both on camera and off camera. Whenever you're talking like accumulated points or rebounds or accolades or whatever, and you have to you're listing a bunch of guys, you always got to make sure to throw in a Bob McAdoo or an Elvin Hayes. You got to after your
exactly
Wilts
right.
and stuff like that. They're always on these trivia lists. So
Thank you to Sporkle. Sporkle and my my NBA trivia. That's a match made in heaven right there. Thank you, Sporkle, for knowing that I need to put Elvin Hayes in this list.
Yep.
Okay. Our next moment, it is Dave Cowens from Boston Celtics. Here he is.
Triple overtime, 1976 finals.
Game 5.
Facing up on
It's a
Alvin
classic
Adams.
game. Yep.
Yeah.
This is what some said was the greatest game ever played, right? Oh, this looks like
Pump
Trey
fake party.
going to work on a Thursday night, man. This highlight.
Why? Because he doesn't jump very high and has to use pure savvy?
A little
You
bit.
might be right, Skeets.
Okay, so yeah, this is the game. Yeah, that game 5 from the 76 finals.
He's a forgotten MVP as well. Won it in
Yeah.
72, 73. Finished top 4 in MVP voting 4 straight seasons. According to Basketball Reference, nicknamed Dave the Rave. And I think one of the things everybody knows about Dave Cowens is that one night he just decided to become a cab driver in Boston because he had a friend in town. He's like, this will be a fun way to see the city. Picked up a couple of fares and cruised around in a cab. But something I didn't know until I was doing my research today, for 2 months of the 76-77 season, Dave Cowens quit playing basketball and sold Christmas trees at his family farm in Kentucky. Like during the season, Red Auerbach's like, yeah, just take some time, man. You need some time away from the game. Started peddling trees, came back, and made the All-Star team. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, honestly, that might be this season. That might be like a few months before this triple overtime game.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how we got, it's how we got into shape. That's the only way you can be a 6'9" center in
Saw
the
and
mid
lumber?
70s. Yeah. Being
Exactly.
a literal
Yeah.
lumberjack, carrying
Yeah,
trees around.
Paul Bunyan, for sure. He played 55 minutes in this game. He fouled. He did eventually foul out, as a lot of guys did, because it went to triple overtime in a playoff game, a finals game at that. But 55 minutes. This guy was the king of side quests, is what you're saying, though. TK
Sounds like
driving
it.
cabs and selling Christmas trees, and now he's got a top shot moment. So Celtics fans will be pretty pumped to try and get their hands on that one. Are you a Celtics fan, Sam?
Yeah, I grew up a Celtics fan. My dad's a Celtics fan. And yeah, still a Celtics fan. I mean, I've got my
That's
green
what I was
stuff
going to say.
around
I
here.
thought that was
Yeah.
on your shirt. Yeah.
No Dave Cowens. A little after the Dave Cowens time. But I moved here to Charlotte, and I'm really trying to be all in. They make it hard here in Charlotte, but I'm really giving it the old college try.
You're getting in on the ground floor. It'll pay off down the line.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, our next moment here, a few left. We have David Thompson, the Hall of Famer, taking flight here. Let's see what we got. Is this Sam, the 73-point game? You already said it's unfortunately not.
I tried real hard.
You tried? Appreciate you trying. Oh, okay.
Had to be a dunk.
Yeah. So the
I wanted to give
73-point game,
Skywalker
yeah.
his 73-point game.
Yeah.
But obviously, probably atop the list of the entire set. Not in the cards. But luckily, we've got this beautiful dunk from Skywalker here with his 48 some odd inch vertical. What I think 7 years, David Thompson.
That's it?
Yep.
Wow.
Fact check that here.
No, I mean,
9
it
years.
wasn't long.
9 years. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Under a
Under
decade.
a decade. That is crazy. I remember probably when I really started to piece it, the 73-point game, but when Michael Jordan had him induct him into the Hall of Fame, it was like Jordan's like, this guy was my idol. This guy's like my inspiration. You can sort of see it in that dunk, I guess, TK.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I thought the same. I think Jordan basically says is he learned how to play with having a vertical. He's the first guy who was utilizing his vertical to his advantage. You mentioned his nickname, Sam, Skywalker. I couldn't tell. He may have gotten that nickname before Star Wars even came out. So maybe he had a little influence on the name of Luke Skywalker, but he's definitely credited as the guy who invented the alley-oop. Him and a teammate, Monty Toe, back in the 70s throwing alley-oop. That's like literally a plot point / joke in the movie Semi-Pro. But he actually did it. There's really a guy that invented the alley-oop out there, and it's David Thompson. So he's high on my list of guys that I wish would have seen play, because it seems unbelievable that somebody could be playing like that 20 years before everybody was playing like that.
Yep, definitely was the Michael Jordan. He's actually from here in Charlotte. He's from like 10 miles that way. Yeah, so pumped to have him in this one.
All right. Next on our list here, it's our third and final Bob, everybody. Yes, we've got one more for you Bob heads out there. This one is Bob Dandridge. Here is his moment. We got a couple of wizard / bullets, I guess, back in the day moments here.
Yeah.
Some legends.
This is the clinching play from, I think, the 1978 NBA Finals.
Yep.
The first Bullets championship right here.
And only.
So glad we got this footage.
Oh, no. Is this their only championship?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. And celebrating as they go off. Wasn't that Wes Unseld that started that break too?
And then if you, honestly, my favorite moment in this, if you want to replay this, sure. Is Elvin Hayes dancing.
Okay.
When they go back to the second, when they go back to the second shot,
I
don't know how many. It's the only dancing in the entire 1970 set.
We had to get it in. All right, so the outlet.
Look at
got the dunk. The championship is won. Oh yeah, the kicking feet, really good.
You have a loose definition of dancing there, Sam, but I guess it was. It was high stepping for sure. There, it was
the 70s, man.
All right,
got on his boogie shoes.
Yeah. Anything to add on him, TK? This is probably of the entire set the guy I know the least about.
Yeah, I think this is an if you know, you know type beat for Bobby Dandridge, but apparently he could have been like the greatest number 3 man in history, won the 71 title playing alongside Kareem and Oscar Robertson, and then the 78 title with Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld. So it kind of slots in perfectly between a guard and a big man.
Yeah, this one was a tough one because he's his numbers retired by the Bucks. Like he is probably, I would imagine that his bust of the Hall of Fame is Milwaukee Bucks. But yeah, he was sort of the third man on that team, and sort of was the guy who they brought on to sort of take them, because obviously, like, we've got West, you've got Elvin Hayes, like they had pieces in Washington, or Baltimore, you know, and so they brought in Bobby Dandridge to really seal the deal, and here he is, literally sealing the deal.
Did you look into Bucks moments for him, and there just wasn't like anything?
No, I started here. Here. And so actually there was a funny story about this moment. We were talking about, there's never a score bug anywhere, which is hard when you're trying to track down a moment. Or it's good when you're trying to track down a moment, but it's bad when it's on the screen and it's the only angle you have of the shot. And so we obviously, we've got the full format, but we're getting it on screen footage. So you sort of have to track the video to keep the player like right in the middle. Which looks fine when it's just a player because you can't see how much movement we're doing in the editing. But the score bug with like 5, 4, 3 seconds is like jumping all like this. And so there was some conversation like, is this going to be usable? Because if we can't zoom in enough and we can't crop this thing out, it's going to make it kind of a weird, ugly moment that maybe we feel like we do. So in that moment, while we were waiting to see like, can we get the score bug out? I was definitely sort of ready to pivot to when he went back to Milwaukee. But luckily we got this one. And we got that extra footage.
A little dancing.
Yeah, a little
Especially music. I love it. Okay. Our 3 final moments. Our next guy here. Now this guy, when I think of the 70s, I think of big men. I think of Nate Thurman. And that is our next moment here from the Run It Back set. Just a look at this guy He is intimidating, PK. Look at him.
Oh yeah, I mean this has got to be a 1-of-1 haircut on Top Shot.
We got some offense from a guy definitely known for his defense.
Yeah,
little
Kareem
Wilt
said the
coaching
greatest defender he's ever played against. Had a 42 rebound game, a double roast beef, and number retired by the Warriors as well.
First ever quadruple double. Sadly, not this moment. We tried. That was the first one here. I mean, the 73 and the quadruple double from Nate Thurman. Those are high atop the list. I'm honestly impressed the fact that there's like this much quality footage that we can make into a digital collectible in 2025. Sure. Like these games are, I think the freshest game in this drop is 56 years old, 46 years old. And then the oldest is from 1970. So yeah, anywhere from like up to 55 years old. So again, the idea that like somebody was shooting this, in April 1970, like this footage is going to be digitized into a shiny ultimate cube.
Right. I just love the look of this guy. Like you said, the first official quadruple double, 22 points, 14 boards, 13 assists, 12 blocks. Unfortunately, it's not this moment, but yeah, like
I think that was with the Bulls, though, right? Like, I think that was in Nate Thurman's Bulls debut, and he's certainly known as a warrior. I think they still have like a lot of there's like a Nate Thurman barbecue place in the Chase Center now.
There's so much to contend with when you're dealing with moments of this sort of like magnitude, like we were saying about Moses. Like, I don't know how many moments Moses Malone is going to get. How many times do we have an instance to be like, this is a curated set, it's small, it's run it back, it has to sort of fit in this little package. And so you've got to contend, like, do we want to make their Top Shot debut from a team they're not known for? Do we want to make it from a game maybe they're less known for? But yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, that was something I was sort of having to contend with. If we have the quadruple double footage, like, what do we do with it? Do we say that like Nate Thurman's likely only moment on NBA Top Shot is not with the Warriors? That would kind of felt a little weird, but for a quadruple double, maybe you make the exception.
And keep you up at night. I can see why, man.
True.
But don't worry, Sam. No one complains.
Yeah. Everyone's loving it. My phone is just blowing up with pure adoration.
All right, we have 2 moments left. This is our final Bullets / Wizards player here, and it is Elvin Hayes, the aforementioned Elvin Hayes. And let's see what we got here as I fire it up.
This is my favorite soundtrack though.
Yeah, I love this tune.
Sealed him inside, easy dunk.
The high-low action.
Yeah. Those jerseys rock.
Yeah, like if you're a Wizards / Bullets fan, you've got 3 incredible moments in this one pack. I think that's pretty cool. I also love that Elvin Hayes played exactly 50,000 minutes in his NBA career. Stopped on the dime at 50,000.
Coach.
Wow.
Coach, I only got 4 tonight. Call me soon. But like an incredible scorer, like you said earlier, Sam, we did something on Carmelo Anthony quite recently, and Melo, when he was at the end of his career in 2021, passed Elvin Hayes to go into 10th all-time in scoring. And Elvin Hayes at that point had been retired for like 40 years. Yeah. So that's how many points he scored way back when.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like a lot of times when you hear about players like this is when the modern guys are passing them, and sometimes you'll hear somebody's name on a broadcast. I'm sorry, I am unfamiliar with your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Elvin Hayes, 12-time All-Star. I think of, I know he had a dunk there. I definitely think of like the turnaround jumper with him, and that's how he got a lot of his buckets. But he got an easy 2 in that moment. But yeah, 3 Bullets players here. So again, if you're a Bob fan or a Bullets Wizards fan, man, like you're loving this. You're going nuts. All right, our final moment here from the Run It Back 70 set. This one is a fantastic player. I think a lot more familiar probably to some people out there. And this is Nate Tiny Archibald here with in the Kansas City uniform.
Yeah.
Number 1, the little guy. No 3-point line, of course. It's hilarious.
That's right. Why master the outside game? It's all about driving. Crafty.
Lightning quick, this guy, Sam.
Yeah, this one, my first two options. This is the one I was thinking about. Where like I wanted him when I first think of Tiny myself. I think of the Celtics. I think of his, sixth man of the year. Was it sixth man of the year? No, I don't want a sixth man of the year, but big part of that 81 title team. And yeah, but like my favorite play I found was literally like a couple weeks into 1980. There wasn't a ton in 79. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go Royals. Like, I was hoping we would have something from what I think is a 73-74 season, first player to lead the league in rebounds in points and assists. But yeah, 53 years ago, not a ton laying around from Kansas City, Omaha, 1973. But nevertheless, I was really excited that we got one of these. This is actually from a very short-lived period where they were the Kansas City, Omaha Kings. So first-time moment, obviously, for the Kansas City, Omaha Kings.
So Buffalo Braves and then the Kansas City Omaha Kings
are
our two new like sort of teams here, or at least in the Top Shot world franchises. Yeah, Tiny always comes up when we're talking like Trae Young.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly right.
Right.
Because I'm racking my brain like who today could actually lead the league in scoring and assists. I think Trae would be probably one of the highly chosen players.
He led the league in total
points,
yeah.
total points, total assists, and I think, and then like Luka maybe I think could probably do it. But yeah, the people who have actually done it very low.
Jokic, I guess, in the conversation if he really wanted to go and score a ton, but sort of not his MO. So it's
to your point, like of those long-standing records, like he did it in 1973, and then LeBron did it twice and traded it once, but they're like total. I don't think it was like necessarily average where
per game.
And Tiny did both per game, totals, you name it. I got more.
Yeah, unbelievable. So there it is. The 16 Hall of Famers are getting their Top Shot debut moments this Wednesday. They're coming out in a few days here. What day is it? It's Monday right now. 2 days from now, Wednesday, September 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern. The format's going to be live drops across 3 waves. So this is sort of cool. I don't know if this is a first for Top Shot,
I'm
Sam.
not sure we've done exactly this exact format where it's like, so wave 1, I believe, will be the Wilt-centric pack. So it's like we've got a $29 pack where it is single moment, guaranteed 1970s, and one, I want to say there's like, I think it's 600 packs maybe. 600 of these packs, and there is 3 out of 10 ultimates, one from each player, and the Wilt Chamberlain 1 of 1 is in one of those packs. So then there's a $5 pack with more of the ultimates in there. There's only 5,000 of each. So we're gonna do like the Wilt theme pack where you've got the Wilt 1 of 1 or out of 1 rather is in the 29, and there's a little bit more of the Wilt ultimate in the $5 packs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once those sell out, we move on to the next wave, which would be the Willis Reed 1 of 1 is in those, and then the Maravich out of 1 will be in the last wave. So, I expect they'll go pretty quickly.
Right, and I was going to say there's no pre-orders with these. It's going to be first come, first served, and when that first wave, the Wilt wave, if we call it that, sells out, it just goes right to the Willis Reed wave, which will then go right to the Pistol Pete wave.
Yeah.
So this in theory could move pretty quickly if there's not that many packs. And again, $29, that's the guaranteed rare pack. So you're guaranteed one of the 70s legends. I mean, the very high percentage, but there's that chance, right, to hit one of the heroes of the game, or even the ultimate heroes of the game. And then the $5 chance hit pack, that's the 3 moments. You get some base moments, lesser chance to hit a run it back 70s legend or rare. It's confusing. We got the 70s legends rare. I know there's legendary moments. Anyway, you get my point. $29, $5. So
this is Wednesday. Interesting writing the copy for these things when you say, can we say legends? Be like, well, it's a little bit confusing. It's not really legendary, But Wednesday, 6 p.m., first wave. I'm hoping that I think we'll get through all 3 waves on Wednesday. But they're kicking off 6 p.m. ET on Wednesday.
There it is. TK, anything to add here? You excited here for these 70s running back moments and, of course, the heroes of the game?
Yeah, of course I am. We already talked about our favorite heroes of the game moments. For me, I think number one I would want to see if I'm ripping a pack. I want that Wes Unseld outlet pass. I think it's so cool.
Wow.
Like it's like a full court bounce pass. How often do you ever see that? And like I said earlier, I love the description of it. He's a guy I'm like, this would be cool to see how he actually approached his NBA career. And so that one's very high on the list for me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, Sam, to see which players the people want, the collectors want, and sort of how the marketplace sort of plays out with these. Like, I feel like the Pistol Pete's going to be a huge one. And now those are the very ultimate ones. So there's not a lot of those, but I guess within the run it back ones, yeah. I mean, who's it going to be? Like,
Yeah, I'm
maybe
really
it is
interested to
Wes.
see because, like, it could be Wes, it could be Bob. You know, good chance that it's a Bob.
It's pretty good. High
Uh,
chances it's a Bob.
But yeah, it's
Odds-wise,
definitely
yeah.
like it's a super unique drop. You know, there's not a ton of precedent for like how I think we have. I think Gus Johnson is like a 1979 running back from a couple years ago that we did. I think it's the only
Right.
one in the 70s.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we've tapped into the 70s barely by like I think it's like 3 weeks into the 70s. Maybe that was 2 years ago. But yeah, it's definitely a super unique drop. Like we're not going to see anything like it for the past year and until next summer. You know, maybe we fire up the 1970s again and get some more guys. You know,
Right.
there's obviously going to be there's a ton of icons, not legends. I won't say legends. Ton of icons from the 70s we could do it again with. But yeah, super unique drop. Great art, great soundtrack, great players, great hair, great chains.
Got it all. Great Bobs for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of like Nike did the Roswell ray guns set of commercials, you know, like
Yeah.
early 2000s or something like that, styled very similarly. And I thought that was great. And I think this is great too.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see the carryover even with some of these guys, that EBA flair, obviously, to the NBA itself, and bringing the look, the style, and those are illustrated here in the moments. And I do love, I mean, the Heroes of the Game one looks sick too, like the artwork on it, on the actual moment.
Oh yeah.
And like we were talking about the 70s, like throwback sort of Topps card look they got going there for the run it back. Fantastic, excited for this Wednesday. 6 p.m. Plan is the Hot Boys are going to rip some packs. Maybe later this week, TK, if not early next week. But you can bet your ass. We said if we're doing this, we're getting some packs to get the Hot Boys really back together. So that'll be something to look forward to. Maybe we can give away some moments and stuff like that as well. So if you're a fan of the Top Shot Hot Boys or Top Shot, obviously hit the like button and subscribe. Sam, appreciate you jumping on, man. It was great to get your insight into some of these and how it all came about.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me. Good luck to your rips. Good luck to anybody who's listening to their rips. Good luck to my own rips. You know, just GLs all around.
GLs all around. All right, everybody. New No Dunks coming tomorrow. Boys hitting the beach Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, make sure you've subscribed to No Dunks here. It'll be live on YouTube and flipped into a pod. Sam, until we see you next time, go Hornets and go Celtics as well, I guess. You got them both.
Yeah, hit me up on I'm trying to get in the no buffs business, okay?
Survivor fan.
Next time, give me on no buffs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Done.
Yes.
Done and done, good sir. All right, everybody, good luck with your rips on Wednesday, and we'll see you later here on No Dunks and the Hot Boys. Peace.